Jambo, fellow Ippies, it's Mike Dooley. Welcome to the July newsletter video portion of our Ippie newsletter, and welcome to all those who are not Ippies but who are on the fence about maybe becoming an Ippie, a certified infinite possibilities trainer. This video is free for all to share and use. I'm going to make a few quick announcements for this month's newsletter, and I'm going to answer 3 questions that our Ippies have sent in dealing with either training issues or staying on track, whatever that might be for you, wherever you might be headed. So the first announcement for our July 2017 video installment is to tell you that the breakout sessions that were filmed for returning Ippies at our last and our annual Train the Trainer conference in Santa Fe, New Mexico, those breakout sessions for Ippies only are now posted in the Ippie resource portion of the Tut.com website. So for those of you who saw and want more and would like to be reminded of the messages that were included in the awesome breakout sessions that were hosted by fellow Ippies, there you got it. And for those of you who weren't able to make it to Santa Fe but wonder what they were talking about, what points were made, what skill sets were relayed, please check it out. This is a service for you, by you, to be even more amazing. I'd also like to remind everyone that Solapalooza, the second annual, is coming up this November at an amazing property, the Marriott Clearwater Beach. It's on the water. Not on the beach, it's across the street from the beach, but it's got its own beach and boat rentals and swimming pools, and it is gorgeous. So please, mark your calendar, book your hotel room now. You can always undo that later on if you can't make it, but book the hotel room now so that you're not locked out of the hotel. The details are down below on this newsletter, but I want you to be there, and I want you to be part of the energy. You know how good it is. And if you're feeling ambitious, of course, we draw from our trailblazers. You know who you are. Our trailblazers to be part of the team, the crew that makes this possible. Like last year, we're going to have breakout groups, and every single group of 10 or so attendees will have their own Ippie, their own team member leading them, and we want that to be you. So applications, as you see down below, must be submitted by August 17th so that you can be considered for the crew. And of course, there's always fewer positions than there are applicants. We do our best to diversify and give everyone a chance, but sign up for your hotel room now so that you're locked in at least that way. There's big savings for Ippies, returning Ippies, compared to the normal price. We've got the early bird pricing still going on. It's a great value for a conference in sunny Florida in November. See you there. The third announcement, August 8th. That's hardly 3 weeks away. August 8th. What is that? 8-8. That's Infinite Possibilities. Infinite Possibilities Day. Self-declared. So as you'll see down below on the newsletter, there's lots of ideas of things you can do in the name of infinite possibilities. So if you're blogging, if you're doing video segments, if you're sharing with a platform or developing a platform in any way, this, like so many things, is a benign little, almost could miss it, but it's a great excuse, if you will, to share with your peeps, your masses. So, celebrating infinite possibilities today, I want to remind you that your thoughts become things, and it's never too late to do anything. Whatever you dream of is meant to be. You've launched into something, celebrating with the idea of bringing to their attention 8-8 Infinite Possibilities Day. You can tell them about what we're doing. You can perform random acts of kindness. Lots of ideas. Doesn't take much. Be a light. Shine your light. Get started. I just heard something recently. It was a documentary on the back of Moana, the Disney film. If you haven't seen Moana, it is an amazing classic story, a wonderful heroine, amazing cinematography. I mean, I cry the last 15 minutes of the movie. It is so riveting. Great movie to see. And in the last 90 minutes of the documentary about the making of it, because you can get that, and this is so relevant to all things, they're interviewing different storytellers. And they're saying, how did you get your craft started? Hey, we're all storytellers. We're all teachers. We're all presenters reaching those who have not yet been reached. One of the three geniuses, and I think this was maybe the songwriters they were interviewing. Amazing music and amazing lyrics in the Moana Disney film. They said, what's your advice to a young songwriter or storyteller? You know, what would you tell them? And they said, start writing and never stop. And I often look at my life now and what I've been doing the last 17 years. And I look at my brother, Andy, as an example, a role model. It's like the gauntlet's thrown down. This is who I am. Okay? That's never going to change. And I'm just going to be that guy or that girl or that image until I can't be that image anymore. And when you kind of do that, you are making this bold declaration, this powerful step towards your identity, crafting deliberately your future. Talk about acts of faith. There's no greater act of faith than starting and deciding you will never, never give up. Now, I don't want anybody to go down the path of messing with the cursed house. As I teach in the Matrix, it's not about being the author of that book or the crafter of that speech. It's about, I am a light, I am a teacher, I am a facilitator. I am going to write, and I'm going to speak, and I'm going to create a platform, and I'm going to, whatever it is for you, lots of things, and diversify nonstop. And then you're not going to be messing with the cursed house, and you're not settling for less, you're not lowering the bar, you're continuing to press on with a vision of your identity. And so this is big. I am a performer. I am a musician. I am a storyteller. And I would tell my story and make my points through any medium I can, including websites, including Notes from the Universe. So I thought that was just great advice. Start and never stop. Not until your last breath. And the universe in a note once said, how could anybody ever say something didn't work out unless they had stopped? Because if you haven't stopped, it's still being worked out. And the only main piece of advice I can give you, again for the third time, is as you're going, diversify. Don't say it has to be this, that, or the other. There's a huge realm of what you can do as a teacher, facilitator, light, reaching those who have not yet been reached, and or applying this message to all else in your life. If you are going gingerly, if you are working with your kid gloves, Seth, dictated by the late Jane Roberts, said, treat an idea or a dream with kid gloves, and it will defeat you every single time. Whereas, throw off those gloves, throw caution to the wind, boldly go where you want to go. In the ways that I've been speaking and defining right now, you will always prevail. And so I looked 17 years ago at when I was like, okay, this is who I am. I'm sending out Notes from the Universe. Okay, I'm going to develop a website. Okay, I'm going to join Toastmasters. I didn't want to. I'm going to give speeches. I'm going to give more speeches. I'm going to join a second Toastmasters club. I'm going to tell my platform that I'm doing a conference. I didn't want to do that. Turned into World Tour 1, 2, 3, 4 in the life of my wildest dreams, because that was who I was. And unless I had to go back and prepare tax returns, I wasn't going to. If I had to pay my bills, I would have, but it would have been temporary. Okay, that was an unintended deviation from the newsletter that hopefully inspired to some degree. I still have three initial questions to answer from Ippies, and I will address those right now. Number one, how can I stop feelings of scarcity when others get their big win? I believe the pie has pieces for all of us, but still, I have a knee-jerk reaction of scarcity. It's so normal. I hate to admit this, but I care about your progress, all of you. I am filled with that same kind of envy, if you will, jealousy, if you will, of other people's careers. Because certainly I could go farther, faster, and higher than I've gone so far. But you know what? This is always true. If you're Brendan Burchard, that guy is just rocking it out there with video courses. He's a sweetheart of a person. I've seen him speak live. It was hilarious and inspiring. But there's so much higher that guy could go if you compare him to others. If you compare them to others. If you're comparing yourself to others, my mom used to say, comparisons are odious. Odious. I don't know what that means, but it's not good. Don't do that. And here's what I now do when in my mind I notice another Hay House author or another non-Hay House author whose books are just, tearing up the charts, that are forever in the top 100 and blah, 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 blah. I say, thank you, universe, for doing what you've done for Don Miguel Ruiz, because I know what you did for Don Miguel, you can do for me. That's just hypothetical. Or, you can name the authors, and you'll look at their works, or you're talking about other big wins from other people. Celebrate their big wins. This is not coming at your expense. There is more than enough for everyone when you live in a dream world, as we do, of smoke and mirrors and holograms. And so, as you are rightly aware, if someone else's success is inspiring scarcity thinking in your mind, there's like a fear there. There's a disconnect. There's a mismatch with reality based on what you are feeling. You're not seeing or telling yourself the truth. Every other person's success is an example of what now awaits you. And the more you see other people succeed, game on, the more you can know that it's there for you. So specifically go out of your way and celebrate the successes of other people, knowing that what's been done by them, for them, with them, the universe acting on their behalf, so shall it be done for you. It's inevitable. And just, work it. You're not going to feel better tomorrow about such situations, but you're going to be able to manage it. Which brings me to the third question. What do you do in order to feel more courageous and bold as a daily mindset? Well, if you want to feel courageous and bold, that tells me right now you feel a little lacking in probably both categories. And that's okay. That's why we want stuff, because we don't have it. And this is a great direction to be moving in, courage and being bold. And what comes to mind, as I just trailed on the last question, the answer to the last question, is the notion of fear. And I have deduced in speaking to different audience members during Q&A that there's a sense out there that they're feeling fear and they feel like they shouldn't be feeling fear. And how do you get rid of the fear? And I'm going to tell you, it's not possible. Fear is not something you banish. It is something you learn to manage to such a degree that you no longer give it a priority in your life. And yeah, there's that little bit of fear there, but come on, look how awesome my life is and where I'm headed. And to get to that place, you're going to have to feel the fear and do it anyway. And my mom, she used to tell me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, well into this trail I'm now on as a speaker and author, she would say, Mike, I so envy your courage. I could never get in front of audiences. I could never write, as prolifically as you're writing, the notes and the different. And I would be like, Mom, don't you remember 5 years ago, 8 years ago, I would go groveling to your home after crashing and burning at a Rotary Club, telling you how much I hated my life, telling you how much I detested speaking, and then bumming a cigarette off of you? Don't you remember? I had no courage. I had no sense of being bold. I was the squeaky little mouse who kept whining about my life not taking off. But simultaneously to feeling the fear, I did what I could with what I had from where I was, which felt feeble and insufficient, but it's always enough. It's always enough. So I kept sending out notes from the universe. I kept working on the Tuts Adventurers Club website. I continue to work as a Toastmaster, giving more speeches, creating more content, to create more material for going out on the road. And I just kept showing up when other people said, oh, this is not for me. I'm too scared. It's no fun. The audience doesn't like me. The Rotarians didn't like me. You learn to manage the fear. You don't learn to make it go away. But ironically, with that approach, it practically goes away until something else new is on the horizon that scares you. You manage it, you face it, you move through it, and then it becomes old hat. And you're like, yeah, well, no big deal, you know. So, fellow Ippies and fellow life adventurers, lots of love. This is Mike Dooley from Orlando, Florida. It is July 15th-ish, 2017. And may all that you wish for be the least you receive, as I know it will be.